Class, I'm Dr. Scott Hunt. I am the professor for EL5123 Diverse Learners. I want to spend some time with you throughout this video just to familiarize yourself with the course. I'll give you a little bit of a background about myself, how to contact me. We'll walk through some of the menu items so that you are prepared and ready to go when class begins on Monday. But first, let me point you to the instructor studio. My contact information can be found there, and you will see my name and how to contact me. My preference is that you use the Canvas inbox, which is located on the far left-hand menu to communicate. You may also use my ACE email, scott.hunt@ace.edu, and I'm also adding my cell phone, 440-488-3307. If necessary, you may call or feel free to text. I'm usually pretty quick to respond. So that information is found in the instructor studio, and I encourage you to contact me when you have questions, comments, or concerns about the class. I want to start and give you a little bit of background about myself before we really get into what this course looks like. First, I'm currently the Executive Director of Field Relations at the Ohio Department of Education, coming up on 2 years in that role. Prior to taking on that role, I was a local school superintendent for 6 years in a small rural community in Northeast Ohio. Prior to the superintendency, I was with a school district, my home district here where I live in Northeast Ohio, for 15 years. I was, the last year I was there, the Director of College and Career Readiness. I was 5 years as a middle school principal, 4 years as a high school assistant principal, and 4 years as a high school counselor. I also taught 8th grade science in another high-performing district in Northeast Ohio, and was there for 4 years. Also served there as an elementary school counselor and opened their first high school OWA program, which is Occupational Work Adjustment. It's a work study program. I spent 1 year in Cleveland Metropolitan Schools teaching middle school. And prior to that, I started my career in sunny Naples, Florida, where I taught 5th grade for 4 years. I earned my bachelor's degree from Bethany College in Bethany, West Virginia, in education. My master's degree from the University of South Florida in education with a focus on guidance and counseling, and my doctorate from Nova Southeastern University with a focus on organizational leadership. This is my 32nd year in the field. Wish I could say I was retired, but not retired, and continue to work. So let's talk a little bit about the course. The menu item on the left, very useful for you to know and understand how to navigate through, but I just want to start real quick with the syllabus. If you click on the syllabus, you will see that your syllabus for the course will pop up, and I'm going to scroll through pretty quickly because I want to really get to a portion of this syllabus that outlines late work, and I want to make sure that I address late work. It's a 5-week course, very specific timeline for you to complete your assignments and to submit your assignments. And so how you calendar your time is very important in this course. So I am going to scroll through here to late work. And I want to point this out to you. I'm very flexible. My role here is to make sure that you are as successful as possible. And I do understand that there are extenuating circumstances. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. At least in Northeast Ohio, we're in the middle of winter, and so things happen. So if you have an extenuating circumstance, you need to communicate directly and immediately with me so that I can provide you with some flexibility. If you submit late work that's not on time prior to the due date, there is a 10% deduction. Um, I'm fairly firm about this, that if you notify me after the fact, that my tendency is to apply the deduction. But if you let me know that there's some circumstance that is going to cause you to be late by some short period of time, then we can be flexible. So I want to make sure I point that out to you and that you have a clear understanding of how that works, because it does affect your grade. And again, it's a 5-week course, and this will travel very quickly here over the next 5 weeks. I'm going to click on the calendar. The calendar feature in this system I found very useful, and I want to point that out to you, and you can see very clearly again how the course is set up in the calendar. Due dates are provided for how you should progress through the course in terms of your discussion postings, as well as your analysis and application paperwork. So I'd encourage you to take a close look at the calendar feature. Very helpful for you as you map out how you are going to work throughout this next 5 weeks. I also want to highlight the announcements menu item. If you take a close look, you'll see I currently have one announcement posted, but I will populate the announcements throughout the 5 weeks. If you click on the announcements, you're going to find information in regards to the course. In this initial announcement, just a welcome, and I'm going to point out here a letter that just kind of outlines, again, my biography for you and some expectations for this course. I would encourage you to look at announcements. I post something 1 or 2 weekly. So please use that menu item to get to announcements and important information. I'm going to skip down to discussions. If you click on the discussions menu item, it will take you to the discussion board. And I'm going to point out first, the very first one that I'm going to ask you to look at and to respond to is the Getting to Know You discussion. And I've already posted a response there, and hopefully that will prompt you to think through the prompts at the beginning of this Getting to Know You section. And you can also respond here. I'd encourage you to do so. This will allow me and your classmates to get to know you a little better. And then you will also notice on the discussion board items that we have 5 discussion boards that you will be asked to respond to. Due dates are listed. And again, I would follow that calendar menu item to make sure that you hit all of the proper timelines and deadlines. And I do want to point out a little bit about the grade book. If your student view will look somewhat different than what I'm showing you here. But the grade book, all grades are due by Thursday, and I do my very best to make sure that I have all of your information uploaded, any feedback provided in the grade book so that you can have access to that feedback. Very important that you check these, and of course, anytime there are questions, comments, concerns, you should contact me directly. And with that, I am going to wish you the best of luck. Please check the announcements, as there will be several more forthcoming. And I look forward to working with each of you over the next 5 weeks.